Hello, how are you guys doing? Just finished going out to the track, man, for golf. Did not do so hot. Uh, I'm lucky enough that I'm hitting the ball, and I'm making good contact, but I just, I'm shooting far right, a whole bunch of stuff. I think it goes over, over 35. But anyways, let's get into it. I think it will be a short read today, just because I'm a bit tired and want to end off the night. So, without further ado, let's get into it though. How to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear, clearing the brain for riches. Before you can put any portion of this philosophy into successful use, your mind must be prepared to receive it. The preparation is not difficult. It begins with study, analysis, and understanding of 3 enemies you shall have to clear out. These are indecision, doubt, and fear. The sixth sense will never function while these 3 negatives or any of them remain in your mind. The members of this unholy trio are close related. Where one is found, the other 2 are close at hand. Indecision is the seedling of fear. Remember this as you read. Indecision crystallizes into doubt. The 2 blend and become fear. The blending process is often slow. This is one reason why these 3 enemies are so dangerous. They germinate and grow without their presence being observed. The remainder of this chapter describes an end that must be attained before the philosophy as a whole can be put into practical use. It is also analysis a condition that can be reduce huge numbers of people to poverty, and it starts the truth that must be understood by all who accumulate riches, whether measured in terms of money or a state of mind of far greater value. The purpose of this chapter is to turn the spotlight upon the cause and the cure of the 6 basic fears. Before we can master an enemy, we must know its name, its habits, and its place of abdo. As you read, analyze yourself carefully and determine which, if any, of the 6 common fears have attached themselves to you. Do not be deceived by the habits of these subtle enemies. Sometimes they remain hidden in the subconscious mind where they are difficult to locate and still more difficult to eliminate. The 6 basic fears. There are 6 basic fears. Every human suffers from some combination of them at one time or another. Most people are fortunate if they do not suffer from the entire 6 named in the order of their most common appearance. They are the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love or someone, the fear of old age, the fear of death. All other fears are of minor importance and can be grouped under these 6 headings. The prevalence of these fears as a curse to the world runs in cycles. For almost 6 years, while the Great Depression was on, we floundered in the cycle of fear of poverty. During the periods when we were at war or faced with terror, we were in the cycle of fear of death. Even in periods of prosperity and peace, we are in the cycle of fear of ill health, as evidenced by the epidemic of various diseases which spread themselves all over the world. Fears are nothing more than the states of mind. One state of mind is subject to control and direction. Doctors, as anyone knows, are less subject to attack by disease than ordinary laymen, for the reason that doctors do not fear disease. Doctors have been known to treat hundreds of people suffering from such contagious diseases as smallpox in a day without being infected. Their immunity against the disease consisted largely, if not solely, in their absolute lack of fear. We can create nothing that is not first conceived in the form of an impulse of thought. Following the statement comes another of still greater importance, namely, thought impulses begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent, whether those thoughts are voluntary or involuntarily. Thought impulses picked up through the ether by mere chance, thoughts released by other minds, may determine one's financial, business, professional, or social destiny just as surely as the thought impulses one creates by intent and design. We are here laying the foundation for the presentation of a fact of great importance to the person who does not understand why some people appear to be lucky while other of equal or greater ability, training, experience, and brain capacity seem destined to ride with misfortune. This may be explained by the statement that human beings have the ability to control their own minds completely. With this control, they may open their minds to the thoughts, impulses released by other brains, or close the doors tightly and emit only thought impulses of their own choice. Nature has endowed us with absolute control over but one thing, and that is thought. This fact, coupled with the additional fact that everything people create begins in the form of a thought, leads one very near to the principle by which fear may be mastered. If it is true that all thought has a tendency to clothe itself in its physical equivalent, it is true beyond any reasonable room for doubt. It is equally true that thought impulses of fear and poverty cannot be translated in terms of courage and financial gain. Following the Wall Street crash of 1929, the people of America were compelled to think of poverty. Slowly but surely, that mass thought was crystallized into its physical equivalent with depression. This had to happen. It is in conformity with the laws of nature. I'll take a pause there. Let's talk about the 6 basic fears and which one I personally fear. Off the bat, the fear of ill health. I am a very vibrant person, or that's not the right word. I'm a very active, I have a very active personality, and I envision myself at a very older age still having that bright spirit. And the only way to really achieve that is to be in good condition and be of great health. So I constantly think about, what am I eating? Am I getting the right nutrition? Am I, exercising? Am I in good health at all times? So I would say that it's a constant fear of mine. Now, do I think about it as a fear every single day? Do I say, hey, I fear that I'm going to be fat, or I fear that I'm going to, be, have some kind of disease? I don't think about that on a daily basis, but I would say the fundamental reason why I do go to the gym or why I do try to eat healthy is because of that fear, if that makes sense. So yeah, didn't explain that as I would like, but like I said, I think it's time for me to hit the hay, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys had a good day, and see you guys tomorrow. Peace.